Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Cafe. I am the Cafe Boss. I am known as the Cafe Boss due to my being a retail management professional in which many people called me the boss, and also my love for a good cup of coffee. So over time, I was nicknamed the Cafe Boss. During my career in management, I spent over 30 years in the pet industry. One of my great pleasures was uniting a pet with its forever home and forever family. I was asked many times by parents just like you, which is the right pet for their child and family. Here is some of the advice that I gave them. Dogs as pets for Christmas. Dogs are pretty much the ultimate pet for kids as well as adults. As mentioned earlier, all dogs descend from wolves, the only wild animal that will cohabit with man. Dogs are pack animals and rely heavily on socialization. It is criminal to leave dogs alone for long periods as they are not solitary hunters. Dogs hunt in packs and rely on companionship to live. Most kids will beg for a dog at least once in their lives. A dog is the ideal pet for kids and can teach you a lot about the world and yourself. Dogs rely on routine and have the mentality of a 2-year-old. They love unconditionally and only want to please you. Besides the love that you give your child, there is no better way to demonstrate this emotion than by giving your child a dog. Dogs are quite a bit of work, particularly if you plan to get a puppy. A puppy will get into everything. They like to chew and go after shoes and anything else they can get their little paws on. They can be quite destructive. Puppies also take some time to be housebroken. A puppy cannot be expected to be fully trained until they're about 1 year old. Before that time, a puppy cannot control himself to wait to go outside. Expecting a small puppy to be trained is like expecting a small child to be trained. You have to have patience when getting a small puppy. This does not mean that you have to allow the puppy to run riot all over the house, destroying carpeting and furniture. Dogs like having their own den, so to speak. This is a sense of security for a dog. And your puppy will not mind being crated when you're not watching them. You can keep your puppy in a crate at night so that they do not have any accidents. During the day, you can also use a baby gate to keep the puppy in an area that can be confined without doing damage. Many people choose to keep the puppy in the kitchen as the floor is usually tile or linoleum and easy to clean if there's an accident. Young children cannot be expected to train a puppy. This feat is difficult for most adults. My strong recommendation, if you decide to get a puppy, is after you get the puppy, go to a professional trainer. And many local pet shops have a professional trainer at an inexpensive price, and get your puppy properly trained. Bring your child with you so that they can also learn, as they will probably be the ones helping out in getting the dog properly trained, especially a puppy. Young children can be taught how to play with the puppy and feed the animal. Unlike cats, a dog will eat until it bursts. You have to feed a dog a few times a day, and you should do this on a set schedule. This will allow the dog to become accustomed to eating at a specific time and to regulate itself. The trick is to having the harmony with a dog in the house is routine. So once you train a dog, they'll know when to eat and they'll also know when to go. And it will set up a very nice routine in your home. While young children can be taught how to feed the dog, older children can learn how to pick up after accidents and bathe the dog. Unlike cats, dogs require a bath now and then to keep them from smelling. But most dogs hate baths. But it is necessary unless you want your dog to stink to high heaven. If the dog is small, your children should have no trouble bathing the dog. They have to make sure that the water is at room temperature and that good doggy shampoo is used on the fur. After the dog gets out of the tub, what they will instinctively do is to shake to remove all of the water. Then they will allow you to towel dry them. You may be even allowed to use a hairdryer on the dog, which there's some of them like, but not all of them. So be very careful. You may want to consider going to a professional dog groomer to take care of your dog's haircuts and baths. Another chore that the children can participate in when caring for the dog is brushing the dog. Dogs should be brushed to keep their coats looking good. It also keeps the dog clean and removes any excess hair shed all over the house. Dogs with longer hair should be brushed more often than dogs with short hair. Dogs generally like being brushed as they like the attention and should sit fine for the kids to brush them. Taking a dog for a walk is yet another chore that the kids can do. A walk should be done in the morning and the evening as part of the dog's routine. It also gets to be part of the routine of everyone in the household. Although this is work, this can be a blessing. Today, many people are so stressed out because there is so much to do. This includes even young school kids. Having a dog and walking it at the same time every day brings some order into an otherwise unorderly life and can improve life for the family by alleviating some stress. Everyone begins to expect the routine of walking a dog, and it becomes second nature. Walking, brushing, feeding, and bathing are all things that children can do to help take care of the dog. When it comes to playing with the dog, you will not have to ask the children to do this. The dog and the children will get along famously and play together all of the time. This type of play will depend on the kind of dog. Most dogs love going out into the yard with the kids and running around. Kids can throw the ball to the dog and teach them to catch it. Larger dogs used to cold weather will enjoy going out in the snow and playing with the kids. If you have a fenced-in yard, the dogs and kids can play together happily for hours. Dogs can be very protective of children. Some dogs will look at the children as their charges and treat them accordingly. Your children are a bit safer if they're at the park with their dog than if they're at the park alone. Most predators are wary of dogs, and the dogs seem to have a sixth sense when it comes to sniffing out danger. This is not to say that you should leave your young children at the park alone with the dog as their sole protection, but that the dog is an added protective layer for your children and you. People who want to harm another person are less likely to approach someone who has a dog. Your dog will require a lot of vet care as well. In some municipalities, you may have to register the dog with the city. It will have a license number, and in case the dog gets lost, you have a better chance of getting the dog returned. The license number is also a way to track down the dog's owner in case the dog bites someone. If your dog gets loose and bites someone, you will have to provide proof of rabies vaccination, or unfortunately, the dog may be destroyed or put down. If the dog bites someone in an unprovoked attack, you are better off getting rid of the animal, especially if you have children. Although they are predators, most dogs will not bite unless threatened and rarely attack those with whom they live. However, a dog may use their mouth as a way to lead you somewhere, and you have to know the difference. They may try to grab your hand using their mouth to pull you to see something. If your dog does this, follow them, as the chances are that you need to see whatever the dog wants to show you. I can't tell you how many cases of people being saved by their dogs because their dog led another person to save them. We read about it all the time. So try to learn the difference between a bite or when they try to grab your hand to lead you somewhere. Children who have dogs in the family are most likely to spend more time playing with the dog than watching television. The dog can also go with the family on different outings. Some chain pet stores even allow the dogs in the store, which could be a treat for both the kids and your dog. Dogs are not born to know how to correctly walk on a leash. Most dogs will pull at a leash and have the urge to take it off. If you have small children, it may seem as a dog is taking them for a walk rather than the other way around. You can take your children with you to take your dog to obedience school. Here you can teach the dog to walk on the lead and other simple commands, which I highly recommend. Some of these commands could be such as sitting or lying down. This will be an excellent activity for the entire family. Dogs can be trained to do many things and make very loyal pets. However, they do require work and patience and are not for people who do not want to take the time to teach the dog to behave. If you decide to take the time for a dog, expect your life to slow down a bit. Realize that you will have to adhere to some routine. For most people, this can be a way for the family to reconnect. A dog, in my opinion, is the ultimate pet for children as well as adults. So parents, please remember the following tips. Do your due diligence on choosing the right pet for your family and children. Adopt first when possible and save a life. Once you get a pet, it should be forever in your home and hearts. I hope I was able to answer some questions for you today on choosing the right pet for your child and family. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button at the bottom of this video. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon at the cafe.